What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Code with Annie. So, continuing with our Java programming series, in this episode, we're going to take a look at some of the data types in Java. So, in Java, we have two classifications of data types. One is primitive and one is non-primitive. So, I've listed down all the primitive data types here. So, those are char, int, short, long, float, double, and boolean. And non-primitive are classes, string, and arrays, basically. Okay. So, string, array, and class themselves are all classes in Java. And those are non-primitive because they are complex data types. These are called primitive because these data types hold the values as similar to other programming languages like C or C++, and they will have a range within which the value should lie. Okay. And even for these primitive data types, there is an equivalent class representation, and those are called as wrapper classes. For char, it's character. For int, it's integer. For short, it's again short with a capital S. Same with long, float, double, and boolean. Okay. The reason why we have wrapper classes is because some of the Java libraries do operate on these classes and they will expect this as an input. So even if you provide char, int, short, long, or any of these primitive types for our convenience, internally they get converted to one of these types. Okay. So what are these each of them representing? So char is basically representing a single character and that can be defined as this. Okay. And notice that when I say char a equal to c, I'm giving it in single quotes because characters, unlike strings, should be defined in single quotes. Okay. Now I'm saying character space b is equal to a, which means this is the class or wrapper class of character to which I'm assigning this char a. So it implicitly gets converted into this object, and this process is called as autoboxing. Likewise, I can convert this class representation of character b into a char representation or a primitive type c, and this process is called unboxing. So these two terminologies are quite popular in Java and often come up as interview questions. So be wary of these and know the exact difference because autoboxing is converting a primitive to a wrapper class, whereas unboxing is converting the wrapper class back to the primitive form. Okay, and this happens implicitly in Java. So a library in Java which expects character space B, but you have supplied this one, it will automatically convert it into this type. All right. With that out of the way, let me tell you the differences in all these. So character is basically single character holding data type in Java. Int is basically integer. Integer is all natural numbers in Java, negative and positive. Short is similar to integer, but it holds very less significance in world of programming because integer can hold up to 4 bytes of data, which is 32 bits, because 1 byte is 8 bits, so 4 bytes is 32 bits of data. Short is exactly half of this. It holds just 2 bytes of data, which is 16 bits. Hence, the significance of short in the world of programming is very less because the minimum that we use in today's computing is integer. The exact opposite of that is long because long sometimes is used for computations which require very large numbers. So long is generally 8 bytes, which is 64 bits. Okay, this is the difference. Short is generally ignored in programming. We use integer or long, and similar with float and double. Float is capable of holding up to 4 to 5 decimal places, whereas double can hold up to 15 to 16 decimal places. And this is one of the reasons why generally we prefer double instead of float. Like I mentioned about short, right? Same way, float is also not frequently used in programming. Mostly people will go with double. Boolean can be either true or false. So these are the only two values that Boolean can take. Okay. So with that out of the way, let me just show you how the wrapper accepts a particular value. So I can say Boolean of true. So this is the primitive that I passed to Boolean, and this is stored as an object. Something like this, Boolean space bool equal to new Boolean of true. So this is the wrapper object equivalent of my Boolean true. Likewise, it applies the same for all other data types here. In non-primitive, we have classes, string, and arrays, right? So this employee age, if you remember, this is a class. Now this can also be used as a data type. This is a Pojo class specifically because it has a certain value it stores and it has a getter method to get that value. And we are using it as a data type in one of the classes here in tech employee. If you look at setAge method, it accepts an employee age data type. Now this is the purpose of complex data types in Java. So you can wrap a lot of things into a single class and send it across to methods, and you can extract the values out of the class and perform any operation you want. So this is the reason why classes come under non-primitive data types. Likewise, string. And string is also a class. It's the string class in Java, and it can store string values like these. Yeah, so this is a string. Okay. So return types are basically the data types that are defined whenever you have a method. So you have to return one of the data types, the string or Boolean or integer. If you're not going to return anything, you simply do a void, something like this, right? Set age. Now set age is not returning anything. I don't have a return keyword, therefore it's void. So void is also a return type in Java. Now, with that out of the way, we have seen what are the what are the primitive data types, what are the non-primitive data types. There's just one pending, which is array. Now, when you define an array, this is how we define it. Let's say an integer array. So int, open close square brackets, int array name for it equal to new int of 5. What this 5 indicates is the number of elements this array can hold. Now, what I can do is int array of 0 equal to 1. What I'm saying is the 0th position, array always starts at 0 and it will go up to n. For example, it's an element of 5 count, right? So it can have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 indexes. So these are called indices of array. Okay. Int array of 0 equal to 1, int array of 1 equal to whatever you want to give, 2 or 3 or whatever you want to give. Now it can hold up to a maximum of 5. So you can populate the values up till index 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can have the corresponding values. Okay. So likewise, for any data type, you can define an array simply by putting the data type followed by open close square brackets, space and name equal to new, the data type, open close square brackets, and within the square brackets, you can mention the size of your array. The reason you mention the size is because arrays are predefined data types in memory. So they have to have the allocation done for their size as soon as you define them. So they will give contiguous space in memory. When I say int of 5, what it does behind the scenes is in memory, it will allocate 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Contiguous blocks of memory. Okay. I'll talk about in detail about arrays and collections in another video, and I'll also tell the difference between them, but this is just a gist of what an array data type is in Java. So with that out of the way, these are the data types in Java, and this is how you use them, and this is the purpose of each of the data types here. I hope this video is helpful. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already to Code with Annie. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.